Well, this is a crucial day as far as the Bhojshala complex dispute is concerned, with the ASI, or the Archaeological Survey of India, submitting its report on the findings in the Bhojshala complex to the Madhya Pradesh High Court. The report that has been submitted after 98 days that it conducted the survey. Times now has accessed the ASI report that details the findings in the scientific survey that has been taking place. Let's break that down, the findings for our viewers. The ASI draft report, which mentions the presence of Trishul or a trident and mutilated sculpture of Lord Vishnu as well as temple remains. Now, the report also mentions in clear words that the existing structure built on a pre-existing structure. In page 144 of the report, it mentions that a superstructure of stone and modified when it comes to the area, the complex that was converted to a mosque. It mentions that images of carved on a previous structure were chopped off and they were reused in the present structure. Art and architecture on pillars suggests they were part of temples, and also it mentions the images of deities that have been mutilated for reuse. Now, according to report, the existing structure was made from parts of the earlier temple, and even there are also several Sanskrit inscriptions that have been damaged and they also have been reused. Let me go across to Akansha now. Akansha, good afternoon. The findings here seems to be damning as far as the report that has now been filed by the ASI, suggesting that there are Hindu remains when it comes to pillars and other findings that have been made in this particular ASI report.
Well, absolutely. And also, as far as the Hindu side is concerned, they have said that the report has in fact strengthened their case. He also drew parallel between Gyanvapi case and Bhojshala case, going on to say that this is a case of illegal encroachment. Now, the survey was in fact important to ascertain the nature and character of the structure. As far as character is concerned, the ASI survey report clearly mentioned that the existing structure, that is of the mosque, was made from the parts of earlier temple. And this temple that has been mentioned in the ASI report, they said that this would have been a large structure associated with the educational activities that existed at that site dating back to the 13th century. But as you also mentioned, several facts have been revealed in that ASI report. Also inscription in Sanskrit language, engravings of Trishul, trident, and also swastika, images of Lord Ganesh, Lord Brahma. All of this have been found by the Archaeological Survey of India, and most importantly, mutilated idol of Lord Vishnu. All of this has been found in the ASI report that has been submitted to Madhya Pradesh High Court today. The next hearing is in another 1 week, when this ASI report in fact will be taken on record. But definitely a very important report, and the Hindu side is saying that the Places of Worship Act importantly does not in fact apply to this case. So this is what is coming from the Hindu side. It remains to be seen what the mosque committee has to say on this, but Hindu side claims that this is a temple of Goddess Saraswati, but Muslim side says that this is a mosque, and that is why now ASI said that it was very important to find out what the nature and the character of the place was.
All right, that remains to be seen with the ASI submitting its report. Meanwhile, we also talk about the Hindu side that has mentioned that this very particular Bhojshala issue before the Supreme Court, following which the Apex Court has said that they will hear the matter very soon. Remember, it was on the 1st of April when the Supreme Court refused to state the scientific survey of the Bhojshala complex, but said no action should be taken without its permission on the outcome of the ASI survey. We have Harish with us right now. Harish, good afternoon. The findings, however, are damning as far as this report that has been filed by the ASI. Is the Supreme Court likely to take note of this ASI survey report?
Yes, that's right, Amita. In fact, Advocate Vishnu Shankar Jain, representing the Hindu side, soon after this ASI report has been submitted, has rushed to the Supreme Court saying that the stay imposed by the Supreme Court as far as follow-up action on the ASI report by the High Court, that was stayed. In fact, so the Hindu side wanted that the stay be lifted on April 1, as you rightly said, Amita. The Supreme Court had refused to stay the archaeological survey, in fact ASI survey, but had said that no follow-up action, no action should be taken on the ASI report without the permission of Supreme Court. And Supreme Court had also said that there should not be any physical excavation which can cause damage to the structure, change the character of the structure, but at the same time allowed the ASI survey. But on that day, very importantly, Supreme Court had said that without the permission of the Supreme Court, no follow-up action should be taken as far as the ASI report is concerned. So the Hindu side wanted that particular stay to be lifted. Supreme Court has assured assured that his plea will be heard, but has not specified a date as of now. Remember, this observation of Supreme Court had come on a petition filed by the Muslim side challenging the order for an ASI survey. Supreme Court had refused to stay the ASI survey, but had made this very significant observation, against which the Vishnu Jain, who is representing who is in fact leading the fight for the Hindu side, is concerned. He has come to the Supreme Court today and made an urgent mentioning. Supreme Court has, however, refused to specify a date, but has assured Vishnu Jain a patient hearing.
But will it further strengthen the case as far as the Hindu side is also concerned? Please to continue to be with us, because the ASI survey that was ordered by the Madhya Pradesh High Court following an application that was filed by a Hindu organization. Now, while the Hindus, they consider the Bhojshala, which is an ASI protected 11th century shrine dedicated to Vagdevi, Muslims on the other side believe the site to be Temple-Kamal Mosque. And according to an arrangement in 2003, Hindus perform puja at the site on Tuesdays from sunrise to sunset, while Muslims offer namaz on Fridays from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Mr. Jain, we were just discussing the findings. Can you help us understand the significance? Because it talks about the images of Trishul or Trident. It talks about some mutilated structures as well, and says that there are presence of images and sculptures of gods and goddesses.
From ASI report, it has become clear that once upon a time, it was a glorious Hindu temple, along with the place of learning of Sanskrit language. A number of artifacts of Hindu gods and goddesses have been found. A number of utensils have been found. The slokas, the Sanskrit slokas, it has been found. And there are a number of things which is found on the images on the walls and the roof of the building, which suggests that initially it was a Hindu property, rather it was Hindu religious property, and the invaders occupied the said property, and they are terming it as a mosque, which is not at all. It is not a mosque at all, and it is great victory for Hindus that have been able to prove that initially it was part of the Hindu temple and religious place of religious teaching. It was a place where goddess Ma Saraswati was Virajman, and the theory of Muslims that it was raised as a mosque on an open land, it has been demolished. The ASI report is very clear and very alarming that what was said, that has been proved. You will see that the Sanskrit slokas have been found on the walls, and not only this, there are a number of things beneath the floor, where you will find the plinth of old structure, and suggests that it was a great temple along with the place of religious teaching. The saying that was a Kamal Mola mosque, that is belied, that is totally wrong and false.
Now, we know the claims of both sides, Mr. Jain. We also know what the findings suggest. It has been submitted in the court. Can you help us understand the core issue that the High Court is looking at right now?
Actually, before the High Court, the core issue is whether it has the religious character of a Hindu building. And under Section 16 of the Ancient Monuments Act, the ASI is required to determine the religious character of the building and then allow puja namaz. From the facts existing on record and from the facts collected by ASI, it has been proved that it is only Hindu temple and it is not at all, and all the religious characteristic of a Hindu temple. Therefore, no namaz can be offered here, and the order of the director ASI dated 7/4/2003 is absolutely ultra-vires illegal and is liable to be quashed, because it says that the religious puja or namaz or any religious activity can be carried out in accordance with the religious character of the building. The High Court required to determine what is the religious character of the building. Religious character means for which the building was being used. And it has been proved to it that religious character of the building is of a Hindu temple and not a tall mosque. And the invaders, after demolishing there something, mosque or anything, that has no meaning, and the religious character of the property that continues as it is, as was before demolition.
Okay,
So,
is it a very short question, and briefly if you could throw more light on it, is it fair to say that the Places of Worship Act 1991 does not apply here because it's an ASI protected structure? Can you throw more light on that?
Section 4, Subclass 3 of Place of Worship Act clearly provides that the State Act will not apply to the buildings protected by or governed by Ancient Monuments Act 1958. There is very little in the Place of Worship Act itself. Therefore, Place of Worship Act is no bar to the proceedings of this case, and the religious character, I am again repeating that under Section 16 of Ancient Monuments Act, the SI has to act according to the religious character of the building. It is not the suitable of the SI to allow any person to do namaz or puja.
Okay.
It is bound by the provisions of the Act, and after determination of the religious character, only the building can be used in accordance with the religious character.
All right. All right.
After the report, it has been proved the religious character of the building is of a Hindu temple.
All right.
So no charge can be applied.
This is very, very significant. We have conducted a very detailed exercise with the Archaeological Survey of India of 98 days in that premises. And after detailed survey and after detailed study, this particular report has been filed before the Indore High Court, the bench of Indore High Court. And therefore, I feel that this report makes our case more stronger. No, Places of Worship Act is not applicable in this case, because in the Places of Worship Act itself, it is written that if any monument is protected by the ASI, the Places of Worship Act will not apply. So this monument, so far as Bhojshala is concerned, is protected by the Archaeological Survey of India.
सनातन धर्म लंबी संत समाज शुरू से इस बात को कहती आई है कि जिस समय मुगलों ने यहाँ पर आकर के शासन किया और उस समय बाबर हुआ या क्या नाम से खिलची हुआ, बहुत सारे जो ऐसे उनके मुगल साम्राज्य हुए जिन्होंने मठ मंदिरों को तोड़ा और देवी देवताओं के मूर्तियों को खंडित किया, क्षतग्रस्त किया, मंदिरों के अवशेषों पर ही मस्जिद खड़ी कर दी, चाहे वो ज्ञानवापी का मैटर हो, चाहे वो रामलला राम मंदिर का हो, चाहे वो का नाम से आपका मथुरा का हो या ये भोजशाला का हो। और ये केवल चार चीजें नहीं, आप धीरे धीरे निकलती आएंगी।